Mr. Cholakian, thank you so much for joining us on A-Newz. We're here at COP29. I wanted to start by asking you about this link between climate change and global security. Could you just explain to us the links between the two, the security risks that we're now starting to experience as a result in our changing climate?
Happy to do so, but let me correct your English, my friend. It is not a link, it is one and the same. There is no division whatsoever. Let me take it from this point and then stretch it out a little further. The role of the military individual, the soldier, contemporary role of the soldier, is that of somebody helping in the times of flood, disaster. They're going to assume that role. So they are, in that capacity, they are military providing service to the civilian sector, their own civilian sector. That comes into play right there. I realize that, and many realize that, not everybody in defense is quite on that same page. The moment you mention climate change to somebody in defense in the West, you've hit up a very delicate matter. Politically, it embraces, or it embraces the philosophy that maybe it's not consistent with whatever their philosophy is. But no, every day it's going further and further in that direction. And if you look at the reports being produced by Washington, DOD reports, Department of Defense reports, they're strictly embracing, they're incorporating climate within the context of those reports.
How important and how difficult is it to get consensus in this area? In the role that you do you find that everybody's listening? Is it difficult to persuade government entities, contractors to wake up and realize how urgent, the situation is?
Again, I want to correct you. No, you don't go in mentioning climate change.
Yeah.
It's the environment we are operating within. It's the field of operation. And that's just, it's no different than when you're a ski racer. It's the conditions of today. It's either icy, snowy, powdery. You just go and say, this is the environment we're operating in. If you were to go in and suggest, oh, by the way, the environmentalists have indicated this, you will be relegated to something less than acceptable.
So that would be leading with the chin from a boxer's point of view.
Precisely. Metaphorically, you hit it right on the target.
So this is not a niche topic and should not be presented as one. This is the totality of the situation that we all face today.
Yes, exactly. And also, don't forget, when you go into, for instance, an area absent of water, climate and water influence, you're going to have migration coming right into your battle environment. So that becomes part of that sphere of operation. And so that, and then immigration, everything going along with it. Oh no, it's one, and I reiterate, it is one and the same. It should not be entertained outside of that scope.
Does that then speak to something perhaps that people need to think about more widely? Do we need to rethink the words we use? Do we need to rebrand this important work in order to connect with people in a more effective way?
I want to answer your question with this experience that I personally went through. I came out of early retirement. MIT asked me if I'd come to a classified meeting one day, shortly after I came out of early retirement, for Mr. Bin Laden, incidentally. Now, I went in this meeting, didn't know anybody. I was then maybe 55 years old, give or take, and I sat there listening to a cyber attack scenario. I didn't bring anything to the table, and I got up to leave, and my host, said, "Egon, you've said nothing." And they all looked at me, and I was expected to have said something. I didn't. And I said, okay. And I said, I want to surrender. What do you mean? I said, you said I was under cyber attack. I wish to surrender. You can't surrender. Well, then I'm not under attack. The vocabulary means everything. It is the argument. In the absence of a vocabulary, you're not going to have solutions. If you can't define the problem, good luck getting the answer. So yes, you're absolutely on target, my friend. You have to have that vocabulary correct.
So this points almost to a new or emerging area of work that perhaps, because one of the things that we've heard about this week is the importance of taking the people with you. The UN Secretary General cited a piece of research that mentioned that 80% of the public want more action on climate change. But from what you're suggesting, perhaps there's more work to do in explaining to people that this is not a niche or, you know, far in the future type activity. This is something that impacts them right now in a way that's very close to home.
Absolutely, but beyond that, just the medical environment hits everybody. The impact that climate change will have on medicine will impact everybody's mood, personality, and so forth. So it goes, you're marinated in the topic, literally marinated. And again, until the vocabulary changes, it has to jettison the old vocabulary. People are going to be resistant to accepting that. Just give it a new title. The narrative has to change. Governments are there to provide narratives. I can't think of any other duty that a government does. Right now, they have not given a narrative, good, bad, or otherwise. There is no narrative. Either the poor nation or the wealthy nation. There is no narrative. So until somebody puts that in place, then you start thinking.
Can I turn to ask you about this region? We spoke off camera that you're someone returning back to this country after many years of being away. Can I ask for your reflections on what you've seen, the changes to this country, and also what you feel are the kind of key opportunities and challenges ahead?
Whoa, that question is so important to me. I'm going to stretch it a little further. You didn't ask me to, but I'm just going to do it. I talk to young people, educated young people looking for careers. And I'll tell them the hottest country I believe in the world today for opportunity is a place called Poland. And why? It represents Eastern Europe. Central Asia is right over here next door. In the West, if you say Central Asia, the mind's eye will take you somewhere near Japan or somewhere over there. That's Asia to them. When you mention Central Asia, nobody has any idea what they're talking, good, bad, or otherwise. Now you host an event like this here. I personally come over, having been away for centuries, and you realize that people are friendly, they're receptive. The press has not done justice for them overseas. And so right now, I come back, and the message I'm carrying back is, hey, they were receptive. They're not quite what has been reported to be. The young people here today, all these volunteers, nice little children, obedient. I wish our kids were half as obedient and half as disciplined as they are. So they have everything to be proud of. Have they changed? Yes. In the Soviet period, the whole Soviet Union period, the Soviet government collectively, all the junior subordinated countries, did everything within their power to be obedient to the West when it came to honoring a debt. Because they had no foreign currency, they had to place total reliance on foreign currency. And in order to be bankable, they had to make sure they complied with the payment schedules, everything. So I was a Comic-Con finance person, only 50 of us in the world at the time from the West. So I was approved by the Ministry of Finance, Russia, and then also State Department, US. I would go in, they would be there with the documents signed, sealed, and delivered, meticulously, flawlessly executed, because they didn't want to have any reputation of being second class. Now, no, you don't get that. So now you're seeing all the individual communities, all the different countries, develop their own personality. Are they good people? Are they creditworthy? Are they not creditworthy? What is their political leaning? What's their reputation internationally? That's it. So I see that when I go to individual countries. Some really aspired, rose to the rank. Some are relegated and gone down to the trash.
Wow. Mr. Cholakian, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your insights here on A-Newz.
I enjoyed it very much, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.